Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content, we're going to talk about BTC. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin on a macro scale. Don't forget to hit the likes. Don't forget to join our public Telegram group, link in the description and all that good stuff, right? We're going to take a look at Ethereum, DOT, Link, BNB and LTC regarding the next potential support before the next reversal to the upside for the next resistance and all that good stuff, right? So don't forget to hit the likes. Don't forget to join the public Telegram group and all that good stuff, right? Link in the description, right? So hey, what's up 46 Zebra? Thanks a lot for tuning in. So we're gonna start off with the monthly basis. As you can see right now, that's a monthly time frame, right? So it is quite bearish, as we said over the last few months. We said not try to be extremely bullish and wait for the monthly support. Either bulls could be looking to accumulate just about like a 30k support, and if it drops down to the monthly 21 EMA on average 25k, it is going to be a good level to be looking for. Once again, most bulls like to buy at these macro support. If you go back since 2013, 2014 and so on, you can see like the monthly 21 EMA being a great support if you are looking to buy these macro support levels, right? So 21 EMA on a monthly back in 2014 was at 350. Okay, you can see like the weekly 50-year EMA was right around this area of 180, 185 range. Okay, if we take a look at the monthly 21 EMA back in 2018, same thing. Okay, we talk about it multiple times. So if you're new to our content, I'm just gonna review it again, right? Monthly 21 EMA right there, been holding very strong, above like a 6k area. Most people have been saying, oh, we're gonna go to the moon and all that good stuff, but as you can see, we dump all the way down to the 50-year EMA on a monthly basis, right? Or the 50 EMA, whichever you're comfortable with, right? So the 50 MA, if we plug in the 50 MA right here, green, okay, so as you can see right here, if we plug in our 50 MA, right, you can see that price action was bottoming just about like the 50 EMA and the 50 MA. Right now, the 50 EMA and the 50 MA, it is just about like a 13k and 16k range. All right, right here, the 50 MA, it is just about like a 13.2, and the 50 EMA, it is just about like a 17k. All right, so something to just keep in mind. The bear market could last for a very long time. We just don't know, right? If bull's gonna be strong enough to show up at the monthly 21, because we're gonna get a bounce at the monthly 21. The problem is, how strong are we gonna how strong are we going to be bouncing? Okay, are we going to be bouncing back up to a 0.786, or even get a double top? All of that is possible, but we're just gonna take it step by step and try to get a support right here. The 30k, it is still a support. We're not even breaking the yearly low yet at 27.7. So technically, we're still at a great support right now, okay? Because the yearly low was like just about like a 27.7. We just dropped down to like a 29.2. So we're not still taking out the last month low at 28.6. Okay, so the yearly low right there on Bitstamp, we did right here. That was January. Right here, 27.7 exactly. Okay, right here we dropped down to like a 28.6. So we're still above the yearly low, even though we've been dropping like for the last 4 months since like April, right? April 13th, after the Coinbase IPO and all that good stuff, everything started dumping. I know I said it back then when people were saying like because of the Coinbase IPO, Bitcoin gonna pump all the way up to 100k and all that good stuff. I was like, just be cautious, man. Let's not try to get that involved into the charting, and you're most likely gonna get in trouble and all that good stuff. So I did not even pay attention to the Coinbase IPO, but yesterday I was thinking about it. I was like, Coinbase came out like on the 14th, and we started dumping like on the 17th, and BTC picked up like on the 13th, okay, 13th, 14th. So, you know, over the last 4 months, right, since like April, every single, you know, midweek, okay, mid-month, like a 16, 17, 18, right, we start dumping. So if you realize last month we also started dumping like around like a 17, right, 18, right. So we used to get that type of a pattern back in 2018, when we used to dump like on the 10th of every month, something like that, right. This, you know, this bear market, it seems to be like around like the 17th, right. So something to it was just a side note, but something to just keep an eye on, right. So the next level we're going to be looking for, okay, you know, M666 is saying MF666 is saying always make sure to take some profits at, you know, when monthly RSI is just about like a 85 to 90. Yes, correct. I mean, it is always a good idea to take some profits when market is, you know, overly extended. Okay, we did talk about it when bits was like a, you know, 60k and so on. I was like, just take some profits, guys, because it's not going to go up forever. All right, yes, we could go all the way up to 100k, 150k, but it is not guaranteed. We pump already like over 20x from the absolute bottom right here of you know, 3100. Okay, so the bull market really started right there. People think like the bull market started at 10k. I don't think like the bull market started at 10k, because the absolute bottom for this bull market is like what, 31, not like, you know, 3k right here. We just retested the bottom, but we basically started the bull market right here. So you see what I'm saying? So we could be in a downtrend for a, you know, at least, you know, 9 to 12 months. It could even be longer, but we could be in a downtrend for the next like you know, 12 to 9 to 12 months, right? So gotta be ready for those type of price action, those type of time delay and all that good stuff, right? I'm not saying we will, but just, you know, gotta be mentally ready for those type of move and know how to reaccumulate at the bottom. Don't care about the bottom, but just how to reaccumulate on the downside, right? Not try to catch the bottom, but just try to reaccumulate and be at least like 1 to 2x above the bottom. That's going to be a great range. Meaning like, if, you know, you're going to be looking to reaccumulate, if BTC, let's say BTC drops down to 3k, not right now, but back in 2017 when BTC was at 3k, even if you got a nice average of 6k to 9k, you're still in good profits, okay? And you could have been selling at 60k. So trying to catch the absolute bottom gonna end up making you buying like above like a 20k and so on, right? So if you're looking for the next like a bull market, right, and you're saying like, oh, we're gonna be bottoming somewhere around like 10k, you know, anywhere around like a 15k to 20k, still going to be a good buy, right? Because you're looking at to be, you know, just above like 100% above the bottom. If you're expecting the bottom to be 10k, gotta start buying, you know, at 20k, you know. But just a side note, okay? Now let's take a look at BTC on a 50-day cycle. The 50-day cycle, we know exactly also the 21 EMA on the 50-day cycle. It is also a great support, like a bull market support. It is not going to help us a lot this bear market, right? But something to keep in mind, it is going to be right around like a 21 to 20k, right? In a bull market, price action above the 50-year EMA, that's going to be a great range to start like a heavily reaccumulating, okay? On the downside, you just want to reaccumulate, but you're not expecting like a bull market. You're just buying because you know your dollar cost averaging. You see what I'm saying? So a good level to keep an eye on, just about like a 21 to 22k, just in case we break the monthly 21 EMA temporarily and looking for another bounce after that, right? So on below the 50-year EMA on a 50-day cycle, right, price action basically likes to dump very hard. Like if you take a look at it right here, back in 2019, right there, I got a big old arrow right here. Back in 2020, not 2019, we dumped like massively, okay, all the way down to the 50 MA, right there, okay, right here, capitulated down right here. As you can see, back in 2020 2018, right? We also capitulated from started like October 27th, bang. Okay, so below the 50 EMA, excuse me, below the 21 EMA on a 50-day cycle, price action likes to dump hard, not like not like moving sideways and all that good stuff. The same also applies on the monthly. Okay, you can also take a look at it on the monthly. Below the monthly 21 EMA, we tend to basically dump hard. That's what I'm saying. I don't think BTC after 4 months of downtrend, it is just going to capitulate. Okay, we definitely could be anticipating some sort of sideways before the capitulation, if we're going to get some sort of capitulation, right? So keep that in mind, right? Now let's take a look at the quarterly cycle. Okay, the quarterly cycle, when we take a look at the quarterly cycle, that's what we said back in January. If we wipe out the entire quarterly cycle, it could be in a bear market, right? So we basically wiping out the entire gains, okay, of the first 3 months of the year. Okay, so it is not a good sign. Okay, quarterly 21, it is just about like a 16K. We know it is a good level to be buying also, so we know exactly at what price level we're going to be looking to heavily reaccumulating for BTC. Okay, so quarterly 21, we don't like to break it. As you can see right here, price action can dip below it temporarily, but it's not going to stay below it like for an entire quarter. Okay, we haven't seen it before. Okay, yes, we don't have enough history, but even if you just estimate like the quarterly right here, you could say like we did not even break it, even if we did have enough history, right? So we're not going to stay an entire quarter below 16K. Okay, so just by looking at the the previous price history, anything below 16-17K could be just a steal for the bulls, right? So wouldn't be try to be too bearish calling for like 10K, 5K and all that good stuff, right? It is too early to be calling for those levels. Okay, we gotta pay attention to our 21 EMA on a monthly, gotta pay attention to our basically 50 EMA right here, also at 22K, right? Before we talk about like 10K and all that good stuff, right? I don't think we will see 10K anytime soon. Okay, I'm not saying we won't, but I'm okay if it drops down to 10K. I'm okay with it. I really don't care, right? I don't care because it is going to be a good level to be accumulated. That's what I mean. I don't care. Like I'm not gonna be panicking, right? That's what I mean. I don't care, right? Because most people wanna be buying at 10K anyway. So it's not like you're gonna be expecting BTC to go down to like a $1,000 and all that good stuff. So. Hey, what's up, Shavar Jackson? Thanks a lot for tuning in, right? So guys, make sure to hit the likes. We got 22 watching. I'm giving you one of the best macro analysis. You stay calm, you know exactly what's going on. You're not gonna be panicking, because the worst thing to do right now is like to be panicking. It's nothing we can do. Like we cannot basically force the market to reverse. The best thing to do, if you're in profits, take some profits. Market gonna cool off, you're gonna be adding back, and you're gonna wait for the next bull market for the next like a 20 to 30x move, right? The current bull market, right, not current but previous bull market right here, we did pump like over nearly 20x. Okay, nearly 20x, right? So if you want to be looking for the next 20x, you gotta be be ready. Okay, be ready to buy the dips right here. Try to get a nice average. Okay, I talk about it in my premium group, like regarding the reaccumulation phase and all that good stuff. If you can reaccumulate in a way where you're gonna get like a an average of let's say $11,000 to $12,000, $13,000, even if BTC drops down to 10K, you don't care. Okay, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm okay. Even a 50% drop after that, I'm still okay, because I'm still within like 1x from the bottom. Okay, being 1x from the bottom is always a good range. Okay, not try to catch the bottom. For instance, if BTC is at 3K, you got a nice average of 6K. That's great. Okay, right here BTC bottom right around like a 150. Even if you bought BTC at $300, man, take a look at it, guys. Even if you bought BTC at $300, right, after it bottoms, right, you're still looking for a right here, 6,000% gain. So don't try to catch the bottom, just try to be within like 1x from the bottom. That's it. Right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a weekly basis. So when we take a look at BTC on a weekly basis, MACD on a weekly, it is still negative. We're breaking below the 50 EMA right here. The 50 EMA was just about like a 33.8, and we could not get a close above it for like guys, over 3 weeks right here. So as I said in my premium group like a couple of days ago, I was like, okay, we got a low volume. If you take a look at it right here, we got a low volume. Okay, I was saying like the volume is decreasing, and the volume was very low on Sunday when I was updating my premium weekly update, right? And I was like, we're gonna get high volatility because the volume is very low, so it means like it has to spike up. We just don't know what type of trend we're gonna get. It could just be linear like that, where we're gonna get a linear resistance right there, and that's it. We're not gonna drop anymore, okay, till the next 7 days candle open, because I wasn't looking at the weekly but the 7-day cycle. It gives you a better view, right? As you can see right here, we're gonna break this trend at some point. Okay, if we break it to the downside, it is going to be a good news. Why? Because we're gonna get a very big volume right here. Okay, right there. Okay, we're gonna get a very big volume right there. That volume could be a short-term capitulation, right? It could be red or it could even be green. We just don't know, right? Right, let's see, let's do this. Okay, if it is green, it means like we could get a big dump, right? We could get a big dump at some point like that. It could be this week or next week, I just don't know, but let's just assume like it is going to be next week, because this candle going to close in 2 days, right? So let's say we get it next week, right? So it could be a green candle but a big wick to the downside like that. Okay, so it means like candle could, this wick has to be what, green, right? Yeah, it means like we could get a big wick to the downside, right? But we're gonna end up closing green like that, something like that. That's the only way we could get this candle green with a big volume, if we're gonna be retesting like 25k and so on. The other possibility is like we could just, you know, get this big move to the upside right now. Okay, and I don't think that's possible, but but anything is possible, right? Where we're just gonna basically spike to the upside with this volume right there. Okay, bull's gonna be calling for a you know, bull market and all that good stuff, right? But I think like the most probable scenario is like a wick to the downside, right, to retest the weekly 100 EMA and basically reverse back up, something like that, like what we just said, right? Like that, something like that, a candle like that, right? Right, something like that. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, volume going to play a big role over the next like a few weeks and so on. Now the good stuff is like the 3-day time frame, right? On the 3D, we basically starting to lose our momentum, right? Even though cycle was pretty bullish right here, you know, we were saying like we could get a pump at any given time, but even if we get the pump, we know 40k going to be a resistance, right? So what we were saying is like, okay, if we do not get the pump to 40k, you know, we bought the dip at 30k, it is still okay because we're waiting for our monthly 21 EMA support. If we get that move, we could get this move back up at some point. So dollar cost averaging in the short term down to 25k going to be a good range. Okay, we did well in this range, like buying at, you know, 30k, selling at 39, buying at, you know, buying again at 31 and selling again right here, okay, at 39. So buying again at 30k, it is still like we're still in profits technically, right? And we could be reaccumulating again if we drop below our support level. Okay, and remember guys, this range, it is just a short-term trading. Nothing is macro in this range. Okay, this entire range of 30k to 40k, it is just a, you know, a sideways correction. So you don't want to be like going all in this range when market is not doing anything but moving sideways over the last few months. And I said it when we got this move to the downside. What we said we don't know how long it's going to take to get the proper direction. So no need to be in rush, because market could be in this range for the next like a few months, and that's exactly what we get. Okay, but other traders could be entertaining you, and every day gonna be like, oh, it is BTC is about to break out, BTC is about to dump, and all that good stuff. But if you focus on the range, you're not gonna be panicking like on every 2%, 3% pump. You know exactly what's going on. 40k resistance, 30k support. That's it, right? Since like May 19th, today is what, July 20th. So 2 months, guys. It's just been moving sideways, and every day been like what, urgent, right? So nothing been urgent, right, over the last few months, right? So stay calm, bulls, bears, stay cautious. Don't be too cocky, calling for 10k, right? And short-term traders, just put a stop loss. That's it. It is a win-win situation. Whether you're bullish or bearish, you can still make money in the market. Doesn't matter which way the market goes, right? Now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, we got our MACD negative, but technically it is still a bullish sign. If you take a look at the entire move, right? I think somebody was showing me, the head and shoulder right here, but I don't trade head and shoulders on my MACD really, right? But on a daily basis, you could still say, okay, we're still making what, high lows, okay? MACD. On the MACD, and on regarding our price action, it is relatively flat. Okay, so bulls got a pretty good argument regarding the potential reversal on a daily basis. Okay, so we need, but the thing is, like, sometimes with the MACD you just have to be very cautious, because you don't know like you don't know how the MACD going to be structured. For instance, like MACD could be retesting the support right here. It is still going to be a bullish divergence, and price action could do something like that with a low. That's the only problem with this move. Okay, but technically, right, bulls could be saying, oh, it is bullish, I'm going to be buying the dip. Yes, if you bought the dip right here, you don't need to be panicking, because even if we drop lower down to the monthly 21, you're still going to get a bullish divergence. You see what I'm saying? So daily, technically it is still bearish. The only way we could be very, very bearish on a daily is like when we break below the support right here on the MACD. Okay, and it could take forever, okay, to retest the level right here. So I don't think like at any given time, right, we're going to be retesting the 5,000 level right here on a daily basis. So we're definitely going to be getting a bullish divergence on our daily MACD. Okay, the problem is, once again, you just don't know your level of what support right here. You just don't know at what price level you're going to get the support. That's the only problem on the day, right? But if you focus on the monthly, you know exactly you got a monthly support where at 24 to 25. Okay, so if it dips down, you still can draw your trend line like that. That's it. Okay, which is pretty valid also, right? You could get a channel like that. Okay, something like that, and expecting another pump, depending on which what type of trader you are, okay, and which indicator you want to use, right? You could just play this move, and you don't care if it goes higher, because that's not your problem. You just want to take this trade. That's it. What happened after, you don't care. Okay, but let's see what we're going to get on the daily. But as of now, technically the daily, it is still bullish. Nothing, I mean, I wouldn't say nothing is bearish, but in terms of divergence, it is still bullish, even though MACD is negative, right? But once again, I think like the monthly 21 going to be a critical support level, right? Which is what I'm looking for. Yeah, volume is low. Volume is low, but let's see. We just talked about the volume, right? We seen a low volume, right, back in 2018 also, right, when BTC was moving sideways, right here. The volume was extremely low right here. I remember when, you know, when we were talking about the volume is low, so it's not going to drop below 60K. It's not 60, but 5-6K, right? And it did capitulate. This low volume sideways correction, sometime in a bear market, yes, it is bullish, but you could get a capitulation. That's why I'm saying, like right here, we got a low volume also, right? And I just explained to you guys what type of a reaction we could get. We also could get a big move to the downside. That's it, right? Or a big move to the upside, right? Depending if you are bullish, right? Like Hank and Robert, right? Two moon boys. Crypto phase, thanks a lot for tuning in. Ernest, thanks a lot for tuning in. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on the 6 hour before we move on to Ethereum and all that good stuff. So 6 hour time frame, we lost all the momentum, right, on a 6 hour basis, right? If you take a look at the 6 hour time frame right here, we needed to stay, you know, we needed to create a bullish divergence on our MACD. Okay, remember last time when BTC was, I think like was last Tuesday, our last live stream, right? Not last, but one of our previous live stream on Tuesday, right here, I was like, we just have to, you know, be cautious, right? Because people were looking at the hourly divergence. I was like, the structure is too big right now to focus on the hourly basis to try to get a reversal, because the hourly was giving us a bullish divergence. Yes, but I was like, you know, let's pay attention to the 6 hour. As you can see, the 6 hour time frame did not even cross bullish right here. We got a negative momentum, right? Wanted to cross bullish, but got the fake out. Got the crossover right here, got the fake out. That's why, you know, most of the time I keep saying, wait for price action to start trading above the 21 EMA on a 6 hour basis with a bullish MACD, right? MACD divergence, right? Bullish MACD divergence, and you're gonna be like, okay, it is time to rock and roll and go to the moon, right? But if you notice, well, in this range, we never traded above the 21 EMA, was, you know, and you know, did not get a clean bullish divergence. This is not a divergence, right? It is not. Okay, so we just, you know, we just have to wait. We just have to wait. If you are trading the you know, lower time frame, okay, just to be cautious. Yes, you could be buying and anticipating a potential bullish divergence right here like that, but that's going to be very aggressive, right? When you know market been moving sideways, you know, for the last you know, for the last 2 months, so no need to be in rush, right? The only, you know, the only argument you could get is like, okay, it is at 30K, so I don't need to wait for a divergence. I'm just gonna buy. I know 30K, it is a good support. Even if we drop down below, it is gonna pump back up. I can dollar cost average. That's also possible. You could also look at it that way, right? But as of now, based on technical analysis, based on my trading system, right, I don't see a bullish divergence right here on my 6 hour, and price action is well below the 21 EMA. Okay, so hey, what's up, Yunus? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yunus, it's been a while, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in. BTC at 1.9. So you don't want to make that mistake, okay? Don't. That's what I just say, okay? After looking at the chart, there is no need to be extremely bearish on BTC after more than 80% drop. Could it drop more than 80%, 84%, especially 84%, right? After it drops right at 84%, 83%, no need to be bearish, okay? If you're a macro investor and you don't care about the next like a 10, 20, or even 50% drop, because you're still going to be in range, okay? The BTC bottom is not an exact number, it is a range. The BTC bottom, it is not an exact number, it is a range, okay? So our last bottom was like 3 to 6K, Okay, so even if you buy at 10K, you still would be, you're still going to be selling at 50, 60K. You see what I'm saying? The 2014 bottom, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the 2014. So it is very important because, the bear market just started. Okay, that's why I'm saying you still got plenty of room, okay, to strategize and be focused, right? If you take a look at it right here, I just talked about it like not too long ago, right? The BTC bottom was right here at 150, right? 150. So even if you bought BTC right here at, like, let's say $600, or even let's say $400, just to be realistic, right? You bought BTC at $400, even though the bottom was at 150, guys, you're still okay, to sell at where? At 16 to 20K. You're not looking for the top neither. You're just looking to, even if you sell, okay, at the monthly tournament EMA at 7,000, you're still, making like over 10x your money, 20x your money. You see what I'm saying? So same thing as, we got back in 2018. Even if you bought BTC anywhere around like 5K average, you still could sell at 10x your money. So, but you got to be able to be a macro investor, not like a short-term trader, like trying to buy BTC at 30K and try to sell it at 60K next week, stuff like that. Okay, these type of moves takes like 12 to 18 months to get like a 20x moves. On BTC, on alt, you could get there like in 3 months, right? But on BTC, it takes time. Okay, it takes time. So yes, I made that mistake. Like when BTC, I was calling for 3K, okay, 43K, right? But once we dropped down to like a 4K range, I was calling for like a 3K and so on. Again, I made that mistake. Okay, so you don't want to make that mistake. So we gotta learn from our mistakes. So don't make that mistake, right? Right here, I wasn't calling for lower numbers right there. For some reason, I was bullish like at 3K. I was very bullish all the way up to 14K. And 12K, I was bearish again for a retest of 3 to 4K. But once we dropped down to 3 to 4K, the mistake I made was like I was too focused on the short-term analysis, and I was looking for a retest. But if I only like basically focus on the macro view, I wouldn't care about like, a retest of 3K. I would be just extremely, be extremely bullish before the breakout above like 11K. Okay. But above 11K, we want bearish. Okay, we said, guys, it is time to go to the moon, right? So we flip bullish at 11.5. Are we in? Yes, we are in a bear market. I mean, Oliver Polkadot just says, Polkson, not Polkadot. So just says, he believes like, BTC gonna keep on dropping till everyone, start to be extremely bearish and stock are gonna reverse. That's possible, but once again, I just talk about the macro view. You don't care what anyone else is talking, what other traders are talking about, like what Send Crypto or like any moon boys are saying, or doom boys. You just focus on your own analysis, right? Make your own personal judgment. Take a look at the chart. Okay, take a look at the chart. BTC likes to drop 80% or more, right? It likes to drop, at least 70%, right? Right here we drop 84%. Right here we drop like nearly, 72%, right? Right here, right, we drop nearly what? 87%, right? So BTC on average is gonna drop 80%. Regardless. So you don't want to be too bearish once we drop like more than 80%. You want to start like accumulating heavily. It is not going to be time to say, oh, we're going to be dropping lower and lower and lower. Yes, we could, but you don't want to focus on lower prices. You want to focus on like reaccumulating at the bottom, and just try to plan your next like a 150 to 250k, how you're going to be exiting. You see what I'm saying? So Sentence, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. I mean, I would say, okay, we 80% bearish. I said it on a 3 weeks basis. What I said was like, whenever we break below our 3 weeks, you know, whenever the MACD on a 3 weeks time frame is bearish, it tends to basically dump. Okay, even if we can get some short-term pullbacks like we're expecting, I don't expect that short-term pullback to be a bull market continuation unless we break above like a 65k, and we're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna invalidate it, right? The only way we can resume the bull market is like to break above 65k. Okay, which is kind of different back in last year. You know, we didn't wait for a break above 20k. We were saying we're in a bull market if we break where above 10.5. I was very clear back in October, the first week of October. I was like, if this candle right here on the 50-day cycle right there, if we close the candle above 10.5, we're going to be in a bull market. That's it. That's what I was saying. I said it like the first week of October, and I was like, the candle going to close on October 27, 26, 27. So starting on October 27th, you don't want to be too bearish. Okay, because the 50-day cycle resistance is right here, just about like a 10.5. Okay, not 14k, not 9k, but 10.5 exactly. So we could not break above like a 10.5 on the 50-day cycle. So we said, if this candle right here, the candle that opened on, you know, that candle opened back in September 7th and closed on October 26th. So I was like, if we close this candle above 10.5 and we close well above 10.5, almost at 13k, right? And we said, guys, zero resistance right now. Even 20k is not going to be a resistance. Okay, that's why we were buying at 17, 16, right? And was calling for 30k, 40k, and all that good stuff. But now we can't do that, okay? Because we got two bearish 50-day cycle. And the new 50-day cycle just opened like on the 20th today, right? The last cycle closed on the 19th July, right? So we just opened a new 50-day cycle, right? So it is technically very, very bearish. You take a look at the last bear market right here. I was saying it, right? Right here, we got 3 50-day cycles before we get a short-term reversal, okay? And those 3 50-day cycles tends to, you know, coincide with a 90 days dump after, you know, the bull market peak, right? What I mean by that, right? Right here, 90 days right here. Let's take a look at it on the weekly basis. 90 days after the pump, we tend to get what? Some right here. Okay, right here, this one was actually 60 days, right? 60 days, we got short-term reversal right here. We drop all the way down back to retest the 6k area, pump right back up to the 21 EMA. Okay, but if you go back in 2014, just about like a 90 days, right? We got the reversal, short-term pullback to the weekly 21. But right now we're not getting yet a reversal back to the weekly 21. Okay, so expect some sort of a reversal at some point right here back to the weekly 21. Okay, anywhere around like a 28.8 down to a 24-25k, which is just a short-term analysis. So if you're a macro trader, you don't care about like a 28 or 26, okay? Because your next target is like 250, 300k, and so on. Yes, I mean, 90% bear market only mean like 80% bear market only means like you're gonna be making what? Some lower highs. That's the only thing. That's the only meaning of a 80 to 90% bear market. You're not going to be making like another high right here. Okay, you're still going to be making some potential, you know, like some moves like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to Ethereum. Right, we're done with BTC. Hey, what's up, Lou? Thanks a lot for tuning in. 83 Madden in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Farouk in the house. Thanks a lot, man. Farouk, it's not short term. It is a macro bear market. A macro bear market. It is not a short term bear market, man. You can't call a short term bear market when we got like a 4 straight bearish monthly candles. You see what I'm saying? So we just have to be realistic. We cannot try to fool ourselves and say, oh, we're in a bull market. Some people want to tell you what you want to hear, but you know, you can look at it yourself. 4 straight months of bearish candles, it is not a sign of a bull market. A bull market, you get like probably 1 bearish candle, or at the most 2 monthly bearish candles, and they have to be very small. Okay, not like these big candles like a 55-65% drop. Okay, like that 55% drop. Okay, it is a good level to be buying if you're a macro, you know, a macro trader. 55% drop, it is a good level to be start buying, and then, you know, 75% drop, and then after that 84% drop. Okay, but if you're a short-term trader, you know, 10%, 15% means a lot to you, right? So now let's move on to Ethereum on the macro view. So Ethereum, let's take a look at it on a monthly basis first. So if we take a look at Ethereum, we're looking at the monthly 21 EMA, just like BTC, right? The monthly 21, it is just about like a 1200 right now, but we're getting a good support at 382 Fibonacci, right? This pink line right there, it is our 382 Fibonacci, right? And we're looking at the swing low of $80 and swing high just about like a 43.50 range, and 382 Fibonacci is at, you know, $1750, $1800 range. And 382 pullback right here going to be almost at 1000, but we're not paying attention to it yet. We're just paying attention to where the monthly 21 right now. Okay, so starting at 1300 range all the way down to a 1200, going to be a good level to keep an eye on. If it drops down to $1,000, it is still going to be a good level to you know, heavily reaccumulate for the next move up to the previous Fibonacci at least. Okay, the previous Fibonacci going to be what, 236 Fibonacci at 1800. All right, so something to keep in mind. It is a very powerful technique to keep an eye on when you're playing these Fibonacci. Sometimes it drop down to a 382 or 50% pullback, you know, tend to give a move back to you know, the previous Fibonacci, whichever, you know, we get. Let's say we get the dump down to a 380, we tend to basically pump back up to a 236. If we get the dump down to 50%, we can either pump up to a 382 or even like back to a 236, right? But we will discuss it once we get the proper support and proper reversal, right? But as of now, on the macro view, the monthly 21 EMA, it is almost at 1200. So 12 to 1300 range, keep an eye on it if we dump to that level. Okay, the reversal, once again, for Ether, we have to take a look at it on a lower degree. So if you take a look at Ether on a lower degree, right, we can see our resistance level going to be just about like a 24. Okay, 2400, right? We're back to the 3-day 100 EMA where we got our initial. Let me remove all of that. Okay, so we back down to the 3-day 100 EMA, got a nice support. The only possible move I can see right now on a lower degree is like we could get this flat correction right here. Okay, that's going to be a short-term analysis, right? It is not a macro view. You know, Ether going back up to 2350, 2450, it is still going to be pretty bearish. Okay, if the move is overextended, we could look for like a 2850 to 2950, right? Which is going to be a bigger flat correction like that. Okay, it is possible to get this move. So let's not call for like a Ether going to like a $200,000 and all that good stuff if we get a sudden breakout. Okay, because the correction, you know, we could get a possible correction up to basically 2350, 2400. If this move is weak enough, it could basically just create the bigger correction right here. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you're bullish on Ether, you still can be bullish on you know, in the short term, and on a macro scale, still wait for the macro view. Okay, so hey, what's up, Golden X? I mean, people saying like a BTC never dropped below the previous bull market peaked. The thing is, you just, I mean, like, listen, just have to be very cautious. Okay, in this market, people will come up with all kind of analysis like why we should be in a bull market. There is nothing wrong with a bear market. If you're looking to buy BTC at 19K, like I said, I don't expect BTC to drop all the way down below 10K, right? 10K could be the lowest we could see, I mean, according to my own analysis, right? Right. So if one is buying at 20K, I think on the macro scale, it is a great buy. Okay, so if 10K is the bottom, if we're expecting 10K, once again, I'm just gonna have to repeat it. If we expecting 10K to be the bottom, right, for BTC, so we're done with Ether, right? We know exactly what we're looking for, right? If we're expecting 10K to be the bottom, 20K is a great buy. Okay, once again, if we're expecting 10K to be the bottom, you should not even be waiting for 10K. You should start buying at 20K or even like a 21K. Okay, and dollar cost averaging every, you know, 20% drop, stuff like that. If that, you know, if you're comfortable with that, all right? So, but going to say like, oh, BTC never dropped below its previous bull market peak, right? That could be misleading, because Bitcoin never, okay, in a bull market, right, pump like 300%, right, 4x, and drop right back down to retest the bottom. We've never seen it before, right? According to our previous bull markets, right? Right here. So you go ahead and say, all right, okay, you go ahead and say, oh, okay, Bitcoin bull market right here. Did we drop down and retest right here? No, we didn't, right? After the pump right here, did we drop down to retest right here? No, we didn't, right? So the move right here, right, you could say, okay, we're not going to drop down to retest it. However, you could also make an argument like we never pump like 300% and drop back down. Okay, right here we pump right here. We didn't drop down to retest the bottom. So it makes it very, very complicated to say like we cannot drop below 20K. And the thing is, in terms of Elliott wave, right, the move right here is totally normal for BTC to make this move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It is totally normal in terms of wave analysis to get this move. Do you see what I'm saying? So we could get a, you know, 50% to 0.618 pullback, you know, and still get our 5-way structure. Do you see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say like we're not going to drop below 19K. I think it is going to be a, you know, a very aggressive statement. If we don't, it is great, right? Because 19K technically it is still a good buy, really. So if you're looking for like a 250 to a 300K BTC over the next like a few months, right, or few years. So just be open-minded, right? If you believe like 19K going to be the bottom, right, that's it. Just start buying at 19K, right? And if it dumps lower, you're still okay. Yeah, because we once again we could get a 5-wave move. I think Aldo talked about it before. In our premium, we could get this 5-wave move, right? We could get this 5-wave move, and after that, pull back down to a 50% to a 0.618. That's also possible because we could still be in a bull market based on this structure, but we could be in a bear market on our wave 3. This is our wave 3, so the bear market could only be right based on this wave. Okay, we could only be in a bear market based on this wave, not the anti-wave. And if you take a look at it, right, we're not even paying attention to the BTC bottom at 3100. Okay, we're not even paying attention to it. We're only paying attention to the support right there at 3800. That's the only level we're looking at. I'm not looking at the 3K. Okay, so the bear market is only based on like a 4K up to 64K, not 3K up to 64K. All right, so a drop down right here, right, 16K and so on, you're still going to get a pretty good wave, right, which is mean 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? And then you're going to be like, okay, the bull market is over from like a 3K all the way up to some moon analysis right here, like 150 and all that good stuff. Yes, you're welcome, Golden 0x. Yes, we should, Golden 0x is saying that we should predict the bottom but accumulate at good ranges. Yes, that's true. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at DOT. DOT is capitulating on a high time frame, right? DOT. So DOT monthly doesn't look good at all. The first support area was like a 23 to 25, and you can notice, well, we spent a lot of time at 23 to 25 before we dumped down to a low $10. Okay, $10, it is just about like a 50% pullback, so it is a good level, okay, for the bulls to start like accumulating right here. And the next level of support for the bulls going to be just about like a 6.7 going to be at 0.618 pullback. Okay, so these are the two levels, right, to keep an eye on for DOT. Nothing complicated, nothing really complicated. No, DOT doesn't have enough history, right, to pay attention to that, like the MACD and all that good stuff. So you could just go by the these Fibonacci's. Okay, if we break the 0.618, we're going to discuss it because we got a price support right there, right at $4. But as of now, $10 support and 6.8 support. That's it, right? Let's take a look at it on a weekly basis. So weekly right here got rejected from the weekly weekly 21 EMA. As I was just basically trying to explain to you, like, when price action dumped down to the 382, they can pump back up to the 236 Fibonacci right here. So that we dropping right now to the 50% pullback. We can either pump back up to the 382, which is just about like a 14.5 resistance, and then dump down to the 0.618 before we double bottom potentially right here for the next big leg up. So DOT reaccumulation right here, pretty simple, chart, nothing complicated, right? Volume is decreasing, so it is not time to be too bearish. Yes, it could drop 50% and so on, 40%, but it is still going to be under reaccumulation, right? So now let's go ahead and move on to Link. So Link right here, it is almost at the $12 support. It actually dropped all the way down to 13 something, 13.3, and now it is back to like a 14. So Link first support, it is going to be just about like 12.8, and Next support going to be just about like a 8.5. So on average, I would say like a $10 support. It is going to be a good level to keep an eye on for Link. We got a trend line support. If you want to play the trend lines, you could just wait for your trend line support. As we started the trend line right here back in 2019. As you can see, we got a support at $1.03, right? $1.30, right? And next support could be anywhere around like $8 to $10 range right there, if you want to play the trend line support, right? So a pretty clean chart, nothing complicated, neither still making lower highs, lower lows. So just have to go with the flow. All right. Could we get a reversal? Yes. In the short term, if we take a look at it in terms of, let's take a look at it right here. Yeah, the short-term analysis could basically try if Ethereum, okay, if and only if Ethereum going to be pulling back up, okay, Link could get this move, all right, it could get this move back up, okay. So something to just keep in mind. It doesn't have to drop down exactly to $8 to $12. If we get this move, it is still going to be a flat correction with a potential bigger correction like that. All right, so it is time to be accumulating Link, all right, not being too bearish, okay. Now let's move on to BNB, okay. BNB USDT weekly. So BNB could not break above the weekly 21 EMA right here, just about like a 330. As you can see right now, the weekly 50 going to be at 230, right, give or take right here, right? And 230, it is at 236 Fibonacci. So the 236 Fibonacci is right around like a 231. All right, that's why we could not break the 230 support. Yes, it dropped all the way down to $200, but it did not stay there like not even for like a 5 seconds, right? You know what I mean, right? So once we break the 230 Fibonacci on the macro view, we could be looking for like a 120, 130 range support, okay, which is somewhere around like a the 382 Fibonacci, okay. So which is just about like a 130, 140, okay. 100 EMA right here could give us a tough time. It is at 150, so keep an eye on 150 and down, okay, right there. But that's a macro view, okay, not a short-term view. The short-term view right here, just about like a $230 to $200 going to be the short-term support, right? The macro support for a potential reversal right here, okay. I said it like last time on my previous analysis. I was like, Link doesn't drop like more than 84%. So if we take a look at our previous bear markets, right here we dropped right here 84%, right, when we picked at $37, drop all the way down to like a $6. If we go back in 2018, we picked at $25, we dropped all the way down to $4, 84%. So another a potential 84% drop gonna take us right around like right here. That's $700 right here, just about like a 105, okay. So which is basically what we just said, right? 130 to 140, start accumulating, don't look for the bottom, okay. If we're expecting BNB, not Link but BNB to a bottom right around like $100, I think like 150, it is going to be a good level to start like buying at least, okay, at least, or even $200, right? Because you're going to be above, like you're going to be like 1x above the bottom, which is still good, right? So let me take a look at the chat room. What coin should we buy in the bear market? It all depends on on your research, okay. But I would basically at least get some Ethereum, okay. And you know, I would say BNB, Link, Dot, those macro, those Bitcoins on the macro view, they're gonna look good on the next bull market, right? And then after that, you could do your research on the down, okay, on the downside regarding the other coins, right? But Link, I mean, Ethereum, BTC, you know, you can't be wrong with those two, right? The other coins, once we get a clean bottom formation on BTC, we could start like accumulating on other alt, right? Once they, you know, break out on the 3-day 21 EMA and all that good stuff, we're gonna start like speculating on those alt. But as of now, most alt, they're still facing like low prices versus BTC. So just have to wait for BTC to cool off, start moving sideways, break out to the upside. Then you make some gains on BTC and take that BTC and put it into alt. You see what I'm saying? So you got plenty of time to buy this alt, right? You know, for instance, like the bull market ended like back in 2017, like, you know, ended like the first month of January, the first month of 2018, right? Back in January, right? But some of these alt did not break out till when? Till like January 2021. So it took like 3 years for this alt to get a clean breakout. So you got plenty of time, right? So I'm not saying it's gonna take 3 years, but you would expect at least, you know, this alt to drop at least 90%, right, before they can make any meaningful breakout. Okay, like a 10-20x, stuff like that, right? A good example is like ICX, right? So you take a look at ICX, right? Right here. So it peaked at somewhere around like $11, $12, if I remember well, right? Back in 2018. Right here, right? So $13, right? As you can see, like it dropped all the way down to it dropped like nearly 99%. Okay, 99%, guys. And you know, it took like what, over 2 years, right, to find the bottom. 2 years. Okay, 2 years to find the bottom. So, and it's not even sure if that's a bottom, because if we're gonna get this move, right, it could just double bottom on the macro view before getting a big leg up, right? So, but I'm not saying it will, but something to just keep in mind, right? So seems like we're getting a short-term pullback. Yeah, the BTC dominance just double top. I think that's the BTC dominance, right, on the Binance future, right? Called BTC DOM, BTC DOM USDT futures, right? We're getting a 6-hour potential 6-hour divergence right here. Right, so let's see if we can break out below the 21 EMA. If that's the case, we could be pulling back down to a 50% to 0.618, all the way down to $1,000, right? Which is going to be a nice 7% drop. AVAX. AVAX, right? At AVX, our last target was like a 13,589, right? Just like XRP. When it was like somewhere around like right here, $10. it pumped all the way up to $14, but we didn't take any short position on it, right? So just took profits right there. It could be, I wouldn't say reaccumulation, right? But I could say, you could say like it is good time to start like paying attention to it. Okay, 0.618 is right there at $9, so it is at 0.618. So we got a double bottom. Just give it a few more weeks or a few more days to see if we're gonna break it. If we break it, guys, we gotta get, we gotta drop back down to like 0.786 right here. Okay, but we got a nice double bottom. We can still get this flat correction back to like a $14, $15 to see if we're gonna, continue the uptrend or basically continue the downtrend. So don't be surprised to see it retest the 13.5 to a 14.5 resistance right here. Okay, let's take a look at our indicators. Okay, RSI still making higher lows, so that's a good sign right there. Price action still making, lower lows and a final, double bottom right here. So that's the good news, right? Take a look at it on a 2 days basis, right? On a two day basis, we're still bullish on the MACD right here. So that's a good news. Sell volume pretty low. So yes, I would say good time to start like reaccumulating, okay, based on this analysis, right? If you're looking for a short-term trade right here, okay, but keep an eye on it, okay? If we break below the 0.618, it has to drop lower, okay? And MACD could give us another, double crossover. That's the only downside, right? If we break below 8.5. Next support just by like a 5.3, because we're gonna lose the momentum to get the double bottom, right? And MACD could just give us the second crossover right here, and that we could look for the next big move potentially, right? So give it a shot and see what you're gonna get. Yeah, winners are made on, during the bear market. I mean, I think that most people are not panicking right now, like unlike before. People weren't ready for a bear market. It seems like most people are ready for the bear market right now, right? So they're not panicking. They still, they know these suckers can drop 90%, 95, 99%. So they're still gonna be waiting for, at least a 90% drop for most alt. Right here, we already got 85% drop, so that's not a good time to be selling. It is, it is a good time to start like buying, okay? And right here, 5.3 going to be 90% drop, all the way down to the bottom going to be 95% drop. So, support right here, right there, and right here. That's it. And you just pack your stuff and wait for the bull market after that. You could get a nice average just about like a $6. It is still going to be a good level, right? Even if we drop down to $3, I think $6 is a good average, and you just suck it up and wait for the bull market. Could get this big reversal if that's the case, right? All right, guys, I'm just gonna call it a day. We talk about we didn't talk about Litecoin yet. Let's take a look at LTC USD. And I'm going to take a look at some of your requests. So LTC pretty much looks like a AVAX, right? The thing with LTC, we just broke the support area for the second time, closing below like a 124, right? For like a almost a week, we're closing below it on a 2-day basis. MACD, it is still positive. That's a good news, right? So now let's take a look at it on a weekly basis. So if we take a look at Litecoin on a weekly basis, we could say, hey, we're just retesting our 50% pullback. If we break it, our 0.618 pullback, on the next dump, it is going to be somewhere around like 72 to 75 range. Okay, our last support for Litecoin, we talked about it 105, 110 range. and it dumped all the way down to 105, 106, right? So next big support 72, 75. Okay, so we could get this big move after that if we're not going to get this move first. Okay, back to 180 and so on. So Litecoin next big support 72 to 75 range. Volume is decreasing, price is decreasing, so it's not a good level to be selling. It is a good level to start like focusing on the big reversal to the upside over the next like a few weeks and so on. Okay, Matic. So Matic, as we discussed last month, I think Matic was almost like over $2, something like that, right? And we were saying like, Matic was somewhere around like $2, and I was like, guys, yes, it looks pretty good, right? But be cautious, okay? If we break below the 3-day 21, look for the 3-day 100 EMA, and we already dropped down to our 3-day 100 EMA. We talked about this stuff like a few weeks ago, right? So the next big support for Matic, okay, it is going to be right around like a 35 cents support right there, both on in terms of price support and in terms of Fibonacci support. So a good level of confluence right there. Okay, so we talk about it right here. Don't buy Matic at $2. At least try to buy it at like $1.30 at the 3-day 21. If we break it, then we just have to suck it up, and we could be looking for some potential reversal down. Right now we're at the 3-day 100 EMA, just about like a 62. We did talk about the 62. Okay, so if we get a pump, we got the 155 resistance and 120 resistance right here. Okay, I tried to long it right here, just about like a 110, was looking for the 140, but stop loss got hit right around like 103. Yeah, I had a stop loss at 103 and not try to do anything with it after. Should have shorted it, but I wasn't thinking right. But just to cut it short, the next big support for Matic, 35 cents. I'm not saying it's not going to get a pullback, right? But if we get this pullback, it is going to be a time to potentially get out, once we get the big rejection, and you're going to be looking for the next leg down to 35. Okay, 35 going to be nearly 87% drop. Okay, to get a 90% drop, we have to drop all the way down to 25 cents. Okay, all right guys, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit the likes. Don't forget to join the public Telegram group. If you want to join Send Crypto Premium, link in the description, right? So we're gonna go for a bear market, reaccumulation, and all that good stuff, and be ready for the next big move. This bull market, we're gonna play it differently. We're gonna play it on the macro view, not just on the short-term view. Yes, we're gonna short these suckers, all these coins, right? Looking to give us a bearish setup. We're gonna take some shots. I showed you guys our previous setup last week, regarding Atom and all that good stuff, BNB, SNX, all of them dumped nicely. Okay, we talked about those setups last week. Okay, so if you did pay attention to our previous analysis, right, you can see we talked about Atom, right, when Atom was right here. Okay, right there, just about like a $12-13. Atom is all dropped all the way down to $8. We gave you all the analysis, right? Band, you take a look at Band. We did talk about Band, right? When Band right here, let's go right there. So Atom setup right there, drop all the way down to 0.786. So we talk about the Atom setup, right? Talk about Band setup, beautiful setups, right? Right here, Band even dropped all the way down to like a $4. We talk about when Band was like, almost like a $6 and so on, right? EOS, we talk about EOS. We said, okay, keep an eye on EOS. We already got the double top right here. It even broke the support trend line, capitulated down. Okay, SNX, we said take profits right here. Okay, because we got the double top right here. We could get the double bottom. If we get the fake out, it is going to be okay, right? But if we break the support right here, it is going to drop down to 0.618, exactly as we said, guys. And we talk about band right here. I mean SNX, and SNX was right around like a $12, guys. It dumped all the way down to like a $7 in 7 days, right? Tomo gave us a tough time, but we ended up being on the positive side, right? Beautiful 5-way structure, bearish divergence. It took time to get our bearish divergence, so we were pretty much like too early, right? But at the end of the day, right, we got the setup right, and now we're still looking for the 0.618 at 1.68, right there. Okay, 1.68, right? So we still got plenty of time for for Tomo to give us the right setup to not right setup, but the right move to the downside, right? So also take a look at Alice. We talked about Alice on my previous analysis. I showed you guys Alice could be dropping all the way down to 0.618 right here, right there. Okay, we drop all the way down, right, to 0.618, broke below the trend line support, divergence right here on our 6 hour, right there, drop all the way down to 0.618, right? So and I think that is it, right? That's the only setups we talked about last week. So within the next couple of days, hopefully we can get new setups and all that good stuff, right? But as of now, the trend is bearish. So even if we get a short-term pump, we still have to be very, very cautious. Wait for the proper setup. It could take days to get the proper setup. Okay, just because we pump 10-15% doesn't mean it is a reversal. Okay, all right, guys, thanks a lot for watching, man. Thanks a lot, Eunice. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man.